Hello there, and welcome to the third dev diary for My Alien Farmstead, a game in early development that my husband and I are working on. My name's Sarah, and I'm the artist and programmer here at Red Nebula Studios. My husband's working on the music, and we are both doing 3D modeling. And speaking of music, here's a preview of one of his new pieces. So what's been going on in-game? As you can see, one of the things that I've got going on now is an in-game clock. Right now it's just counting seconds, and eventually I'll have that translated over to in-game hours and days. For the moment, I'm just spawning our workers by hitting a key on my keyboard, and that's because the workers are now attached into the task system, so they can do things like adjusting the soil types and stuff like that. They'll have a digging animation as they're doing this sort of work. Let me just spawn a few more so you can see how they handle it. Each of them goes to a particular spot on it, just like the drones were doing before, and has a preference for which direction they want to go, so you get this kind of cool pattern of watching all of them do what they want to do as part of the task. The workers will try to go to the part of the task that's nearest to them as well, as opposed to the drones that just start in one corner and go from there. And for the moment, when they're done with the task, they just stand there, but eventually they'll have an idle routine and some certain behaviors that they can go through as they're waiting for something else to do. Something else we've got now is different types of crops. We saw the first example of a crop plant growing in the last diary, but now they can actually plant them. The antids were waiting for a task, and as soon as one came up that a few of them could handle, they went ahead and did it. So they plant a seed, and then they stand around because they don't have anything else to do at the moment. The seeds start growing. This one's kind of just an example vegetable, so I just took the same plant that I had already created and made it into a slightly different color so you could see what it would look like with a vegetable type crop. The difference between fruit and vegetable is that the vegetable types stay attached to the crop plant throughout its entire life cycle. Eventually, when the crop plant dies, the vegetable would die along with it if it hadn't been harvested yet. That doesn't happen right now, so after a little while you'll see the plants start to die, whereas the vegetables on them will remain. That will eventually be different. On the other hand, we've got a fruit-type plant. You see that this one does not start with the fruit already there. The fruit will start growing as soon as it gets to a certain size. And there will be the ability for plants to have multiple fruits on them, of course. And all of that will depend on the type of plant and a bunch of other factors. But what happens with these is if they're not harvested in time, they will detach from the plant, and a new fruit will begin growing in their place. Also, if they're harvested, you'll have new fruit growth as well. Right now we just got some fun physics of stuff rolling everywhere. And finally, when the plant dies, it will also detach any remaining fruit at whatever size that it happened to attain. Now when they're that size, they're not going to be something that you can sell on the market because they're just simply unripe, but there might be some things you can do with them. And here's an effect you might not have noticed in this particular plant since it's kind of subtle. I added some Vertex Movement to the shader that allows the leaves to look like they were moving in a breeze. Just gives the plants a little bit more life. Larger plants that have their leaves and branches higher up, you'll see more of an effect, something like this. If you caught my social media update last week, you would have seen the model for the drone. And now we've got a textured model, along with a small amount of animation and a new particle effect, which is a work in progress. There will be some additional animations for the drone as well, but I wanted to at least get that turning animation just so you can have an idea of what I was going for with it. I definitely wanted them to give the impression of being kind of something like a flying saucer. That'd be kind of fun. And that's it for the moment. If you'd like to follow along with our progress on the game, subscribe here on YouTube or follow us over on Facebook or Twitter. And if you'd like to see early updates and help make this project a reality, check out our Patreon. A very big thank you, as always, to our current patrons. That's all for now. Bye!